Hey everyone, so the book I'm going to read is called The Great Show and Tell Disaster. And it's by Mike Rice and illustrated by Mike Cressy. The Great Show and Tell Disaster. There once was a young inventor named Ned. He was lying in bed, and he wished he were dead. Show and tell was this morning, and wouldn't you know, he had nothing to tell and nothing to show. He'd already brought in his toad and his turtle, his bronze baby shoes and his Aunt Myrtle's girdle, his tonsils, appendix, his dinosaur fossil. Ted needed something completely colossal. He went to his closet and dug out his stash of valuable treasures he'd found in the trash. A rusty egg beater, a toy laser beam, a handheld electronic spelling machine, a slinky with kinks, and an old ping-pong paddle. A snow globe that said, "Having fun in Seattle." He smushed them together with duct tape and glue. He had an invention, but what did it do? What do you guys think that invention does? Or what do you think it could do? He cranked the contraption. The laser glowed red. He pointed the beam at a shoe on the bed. With a flash, the shoe had turned into a hose that sprayed ice-cold water on Ned's books and clothes. Then Ned zapped his lamp. It turned into a palm. He took a deep breath and he tried to stay calm. Something I'm noticing. You have to look very closely at the letters in the word shoe and the letters in the word hose. The shoe turned into a hose. They have the same letters in those words, but rearranged a different way. And then the lamp turned into a palm. And they have the same 4 letters too, but they're switched around. Interesting. So let's see what else might change. I'll call my invention Ned's Mix-Up Ray. I'll be rich, I'll be famous, or at least get an A. He ran down to breakfast to tell Dad and Mom that his shoe was a hose and his lamp was a palm. My newest invention makes normal stuff weird. It lets a cat act, and it makes bread grow a beard. The letters in act and cat are the same, and the letters in beard and bread are the same. Interesting. But just then the laser beam bounced off a dish, changing his aunt to a big tuna fish. "Oops, sorry," said Ned, and he ran off to school, while his mom and his dad put his aunt in the pool. If you want, while I'm reading, you can play along and you can try and figure out the letters in each of the words and see how they change around to make a new word. So he changed his aunt, A-U-N-T, to a big tuna fish, T-U-N-A. On his way, Ned passed by Mr. Clemens, the grocer. Did he leave the store as he found it? Oh, no, sir. Old Mr. Clemens saw after a while that his peas, you can spell peas, his peas were now apes, and his limes turned to smile. And all the limes were smiling. His lemons were melons. His melons were lemons. What's the difference, said old Mr. Clemens. Then Ned went too far. He made every peach cheap. And old Mr. Clemens said, "Eat it, you creep." At school, show and tell started out pretty slow. Kathy brought mustard, and Harry a hoe. But things got exciting when Ned's mix-up ray made Kathy a yacht and turned Gary to gray. Jane Keene and Jane Green were both meaner than mean, but this bad pair of Janes made a nice pair of jeans. He made Brian a brain with a big throbbing thinker, and changed Nat to an ant and made Kristen a stinker. Looks like Kristen turned into a skunk. Then Ned went too far. Mrs. Eaton, the teacher, turned into a monster, a three-headed creature. Ned, roared the teacher, you get an F+. Then she hustled the children outside to a bus. It's time for our trip to the Museum of Art, and I'm warning you, Ned, don't try anything smart. I have 6 eyes, and they're watching you, bub. But she hadn't noticed. The bus was a sub. His classmates all look so strange now. He changed all of them. They sailed through the city. Ned zapped every sign. Look very closely. Can you find all 9? I'll let you look for a minute to see what signs he changed. And you can pause the video too to see if you can find all 9 signs that changed. So this is the first picture, and then this is what changed on the other side of the page. So it looked like he changed sail to seal. The store sale became a seal. The coal machine became a coal machine. Poster of Germany became a poster of Meg Ryan. That's 3. The playhouse became Lousy Heap. And the show Cats became Scat. The gas tank became Sag, and it's sagging over. And I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then the stop sign became Pots. Elm Street became Melts, and the sign is melting. And the slow sign became Owls. That's 9. At the Museum of Art, Ned roamed through the halls, making pie crust from pictures that hung on the walls. He changed art to a rat, and he changed art into tar. One bust was the stub of a smelly cigar. An urn sprouted legs and went out for a run, and 9 neon sculptures had dwindled to none. Out in the courtyard, surrounded by trees, Rodden's The Kiss had turned into the Skis. Looks like he changed a sculpture at the museum. And sitting on top where a pigeon would perch, one pig was squealing and left in the lurch. A giant dog statue replaced a Greek god. His throne was a hornet, which looked rather odd. Ned made a mess out of each masterpiece and trashed all the treasures of classical Greece. That poor art museum, they must have been so angry. When she saw the madness throughout the museum, the teacher let loose with a 3-headed scream, and suddenly Ned knew this wasn't a game. Things were a nightmare without the right name. Kathy the yacht said, "You wrecked show and tell." Kristen the stinker sobbed, "You made me smell." Brian the brain asked, "Have you lost your mind?" The urn with the legs kicked him in the behind. The mood wasn't good, and poor Ned could sense doom. So he ran and he hid in the little boy's room. I wonder what he's going to do to fix his problem. What do you guys think? I've scrambled my friends and the whole art collection, Ned thought as he stared at his gloomy reflection. Then Ned had a brainstorm. He knew it could work. I'm a genius, he cried. And, well, kind of a jerk. He aimed at the mirror with Ned's mix-up ray. The device zapped itself and became unmixed spray. Interesting. The letters in Ned's mix-up ray became unmixed spray. With a spritz of his spray, he made art from a rat. The yacht became Kathy. The ant became Nat. Brian's huge brain was tucked back in his cranium. Kristen the stinker smelled like a geranium. The only thing left was the three-headed creature. This monster was scary. But so was his teacher. Ned sprayed and the monster became Mrs. Eaton. She was angry at first, then she started to sweeten. Ned, you have been a most mischievous kid, but I think you've undone all the damage you did. And you kept this from being another dull day, so I'm raising your grade from F+ to an A. On his way home from school, he stopped by the store and found things were better than they'd been before. Those pagers are selling much faster than grapes, Mr. Clement explained. So I hired the apes to work as my clerks. They have excellent manners. The best part of all is they work for bananas. You've helped me a lot. You're a very bright child. Mr. Clemens and Ned and all the limes smiled. Limes can still smile. Ned returned home feeling proud of himself, and he set down the spray with his A on the shelf. He'd fixed all of the problems at home and at school, except for his aunt, who is still in the pool. But what should he bring to the next show and tell? A bell? Or a shell? Or a stale caramel? Or he might build a switcheroo gizmo instead. But for now, it's the end of the story of Ned. An end and Ned have the same 3 letters. I wonder if he's going to do it again for his next show and tell. Interesting. I hope you guys liked that book. That was a fun one with all words switching around.